was watching Goldie. First of all, it doesn't look like they pay attention to chat unless you're a super chat person. I'm trying to provide information, and it's like no one is paying any attention. It's like, why am I sitting here wasting my time if no one is paying attention? So I said, the heck with that. I'll start my own. Literally. It's like there's stuff going on, and, you know, they're talking about other stuff, playing songs, all this, and I'm like, I get it. It's like a kumbaya moment. But my gosh, there's stuff going on. Pay attention. You try to send messages, put links, and it's like, do the mods not? Like, when I'm streaming, my mods put in links and let me know. Like, Bill, check this out. And I pay attention. And you notice that about a lot of these channels. If it's not a super chat, you're not going to be mentioned. It's like they purposely make it where you have to put a super chat in order for your message to be shared and mentioned. Have you noticed that? That is such BS to me. I mean, really. My gosh, pay attention to everybody, whether they're paying you or not. I don't go for that. I'm not a fan of that. I would never do that. And there's options here like for TikTok, as I'm about to start. Superfan chat only. Superfan only live. Really? Really? No. I'm not with that. I'm starting to get a little cold waterish on that. And I know a lot of people are probably watching football and doing other things today. There's actually a really good game on right now. 13-10 last I seen. Bills are leading. But my gosh. Is it really like that now? You have to pay for a super chat in order to be addressed with your question or comment? Is that the only way? At least if you're going to do that, make it partially fair. Where you put people's ordinary comments on the screen too. So at least it looks like there's some kind of a balance going on. Meanwhile, I'm telling them Netanyahu made a statement a couple of hours ago that is relevant to the situation and not one mention. Videos from yesterday, last night. Tommy, this person, I mean, it's like, my gosh. Are we, I mean, I guess since you stream for a long time, you got to talk just about anything, right? To pass time. I guess that's the logic. But if you're going to be relevant and talk about the things that are going on in real time and be relevant, and Armin was showing a lot of great videos. I'm not saying that. But my gosh, I was like, really? You're not paying attention. There are two strata tankers. Now, one is taking the normal. Let me share that first. This has been the normal flight path. And one of them did some circling north of Riyadh. And I'm saying what's going on. Nobody's paying attention. Nobody. It's like you should be paying attention. Now, they normally leave Qatar and they go up this way and then they do this turn. That's been the normal flight path. This one was north of Riyadh and did a few circling right here because I've been watching it for the past few hours. Now, when they circle, sometimes that could indicate that they're refueling something. I'm not saying it did, but it's possible. Now, this one is heading northwest. This one is heading west. That's been the normal flight path for these stratotankers. So this doesn't I don't find that. There's been a lot of weird, I don't want to say glitches, but near these two airports in Tehran, there's been a lot of weird activity. A lot. It's almost like spoofing. things appeared, they disappeared. They seem to be avoiding this airport in Tehran. There's another one here. This is the Khomeini. But let's see where this one's heading again. Yeah, this one's supposed to be heading into Tehran. But there's been a lot of weird activity around Tehran with flight radar today, because I've been watching it. Just a lot of weird, glitchy stuff. And like I said, look at the two tankers here. That could mean nothing. But they're in the air. Those are refuelers. They're both in the air. Now, like I said, this one has this. I've been watching this for days. They leave Qatar, they come through the Persian Gulf, and then they make the left and head west in southern Iraq. And then they'll just disappear. That's been the pattern. This one did something different. It left Qatar, went north of Riyadh, circled a couple of times, and then it started to move north. And I have not seen that one before. This one. I have not seen this one. That was different today. There have been C-17s coming in. As a matter of fact, there's one maybe right now coming in. Right here. There you go. There's another one coming in. A lot. There were 3 yesterday. Last night. 3. A lot of movement into Qatar. A lot. Now, if you're the Iranians and you know we have a base here, they said clearly in their parliament, we will attack the U.S. bases and Israel. Well, this could be to prompt up defense measures around this base. They're bringing in logistical supplies to help protect and defend this base. It could be as simply as that. Yes, I'm speculating, but it would make sense. They're bringing in equipment to fortify and put up defensive countermeasures here in case this base is attacked. So a lot of stuff is just not making sense. No, it's not going to be evading guided missiles over Saudi Arabia. Riyadh, we have a base nearby. That could be circling to refuel, because usually they will circle and refuel like that. So there's a lot going on here. That's the C-17 that came. Who knows where that came from? Germany, if I had to guess. Where'd that come from? Germany. Just like I thought. And who knows what else is going on. They are sending in the reinforcements here. Now, the carrier group is far away. It would take a few days to maybe at the minimum to get to the Persian Gulf area, because they were in the South China Sea. So, again, there's been this activity with these 2 tankers, and this has been normal. This one might start to turn and head that way too. Who knows? Oh, look at as I'm saying it. Because that's been the flight path of these stratotankers. They head west when they're in southern Iraq. So just something to keep an eye on. And there's still a lot of air traffic out there in eastern Iraq. Now, if this starts to go away, that could be an indicator. Or if this starts to go away and they close up their airspace, you know that could be an issue. But right now, there's still a lot of air traffic. Well, you know, if this starts to dissipate, because they have to warn airlines. Another thing, too, you have to see if there's any activity going into Tel Aviv. If they get alerted, they're going to cease activity. So there's a lot of indicators to watch out for, is what I'm saying. And these are 2 stratotankers. Because like I said, they're paying attention to like the other stuff, but they're not really paying attention to the logistical things that are going on right now. Oh boy, now what? Okay, I can't read that. Do you use... Don't mind me, I'm getting messages. Okay. Okay. So, this is something I was trying to emphasize to them. Share what Netanyahu just said. Look what Netanyahu, and it's in, I'm not going to put it because he's speaking. You could look at this is what he said a couple of hours ago. You could read it yourselves. And I'll read it as it replays. Look what he just said a couple hours ago, maybe 3 hours now. Israel is closely monitoring the events unfolding in Iran. The protests for freedom have spread throughout the country. The people of Israel and the entire world stand in awe of the immense bravery of Iran's citizens. Israel supports their struggle for freedom and strongly condemns the mass, I can't say that on TikTok, of innocent people, innocent civilians. We all hope that the Persian nation will soon be liberated from the yoke of tyranny. And when that day comes, Israel and Iran will once again be faithful partners in building a future of prosperity and peace for both nations. That is significant. That is significant. And they are friends. Reza Pahlavi and Netanyahu are friends. They speak. They're in communication. As a matter of fact, I believe that the Crown Prince visited Jerusalem a few years ago. Oh my God, who's driving me crazy at this moment? Hold on. Oh my gosh. I can't see without my glasses. Okay. Hopefully the messages will slow down. But getting back to this. Let's see if we find at least one image. I mean, here's a picture of the two leaders. Oh my God. The two leaders with their wives. Look at that. So they have a relationship. They have a friendship. She was sending it to me. Anyway, look at this. So they are friendly with each other, obviously. And this could, I mean, I'm not going to say necessarily he's the future leader, but he's definitely the future as far as a transitional government for Iran. Not saying he's the permanent leader, but this is who the people are voicing out for. Him, Reza Pahlavi. They're voicing it seems like the vast majority are speaking to him to come back. The return of the king. So he's got to play some type of a role. And a lot of people say, oh, they're going to have a monarchy. They're going to have a parliament. It's going to be a republic. Look at England. Look at the UK. It's more symbolic than anything else. They have a parliament. It will be similar, I would assume. So, again, this needs to be watched very carefully. And I don't think someone said that the president made a statement that they'll make a decision by Tuesday. Just because he says that doesn't mean he's going to wait till Tuesday. I mean, really? Is he going to tip his hand and say, well, I'm going to wait till Tuesday to make a final decision about what I'm going to do? That is not Trump's style. No. That could be what the narrative is to put out there. But are you going to actually take that seriously? He might just be putting it out there. Now, I think Iran is preparing for an attack, an imminent attack strike. By aircraft, cruise missiles, whatever it is. I mean, they must be. The concern is, does Iran, if they feel that there's, or think there's an impending strike, they just send a whole bunch of ballistic missiles toward Israel? Because they don't care. They know they're about to go down. They know they're about to get hit hard, really hard, like the president said. Might as well use them before you lose them. That's a scare. That's scary. Would they? I mean, if they did that, then they're really going to get just obliterated. And I'm not talking about the people, civilian population. I'm talking about the IRGC. I mean, if you do that, and I am one that thinks that the Ayatollah should be held accountable by the people of Iran, not us. Or definitely not Israel. Like to take him out. Leave that for the people of Iran to decide what they want to do with him. Let him face true justice by the Iranian people. I think it would be a mistake if we went and took him out, or Israel took him out. That would be too easy. Leave that up to the Iranian people. That would be my opinion on that. So, again, this is a very dicey situation that's developing. And I honestly, it could happen tomorrow morning, early hours in Iran. Like right now, Alexa, what time is it in Iran?
It's 11:53 p.m. in Iran right now.
It's almost midnight. And those strata tankers are in there, not saying that they're going to do anything, but they are in the air. I want to see where they are now. There's one there. The other one is heading west. So there are two of them. Now, this could also be part of the Syrian equation. This could also be part of the Syrian equation because we struck them yesterday, along with some other countries, Jordan, a couple others. But this strata tanker is now here in Iraq. And then this has been the typical flight path of the strata tankers leaving Qatar or Qatar. That has been the typical flight path, but not this one. Not that one. That one went north of Riyadh in Saudi Arabia, right here. Did a couple of circles and then went north. If I hit it, you'll see that. I have not seen that one happen yet. That's the first time. And I've been watching this. And you'll see. That's a tanker. And it did this. And sometimes when you see them circling like this, it's to allow aircraft to refuel in the air. When they do this, it could simply be to refuel craft in the air. I'm not suggesting they did, but in some instances, that is the case when they do that. So look where it is now. Who in God's name is messaging me? All right. So anyway, so these are things to keep an eye on, especially the airspace. When you see the planes start to diminish here in eastern Iraq or in Iran, that's something, that's also an indicator. If you start seeing this air traffic, avoid this area. And definitely a lot of these planes that are traveling. And it's just not Iranian planes that are in the air. Some of them are Russian, from all different types of country, UAE, all different kinds of countries. So they're still flying. This one's from Turkey. So you still have flights from different countries going over. Dubai, you're not UAE, like I said. You know, you still have these aircraft flying over. They're not going to put these at risk if something's about to break out. Uh-oh, what is that? Baghdad. I bet you, and that is Iranian. I bet you that's going to, because I've seen a few of these flights going back and forth too, from Baghdad to Tehran and back. That's been happening a lot. A lot of their people might be going in, or who knows, maybe they're trying to bring reinforcements, proxy fighters to come into the country to help repel what's going on in Iran. Who the heck knows what's going on? But you know that NA is Tehran. I'll put money on that. That NA is Tehran. I'll put money on it. And this has been going on pretty much the last 2 days. I've been also keeping an eye. There was a Shanghai plane that came in yesterday. I'm also looking for any Russian planes. There was a weird spoofing of a Russian plane earlier. But this one might be coming in. Yep. Turkey. Tehran. Interesting. Now that's a passenger plane, which means absolutely nothing. Because this plane could be coming in to take some of them out. You know, I'm definitely speculating, but you just got to watch what's going on here. Because they might be bailing out. This one's that one that we just seen, the Baghdad. That's going to Tehran. This one's probably, I don't know what that is. Let's see where that's going. Tehran. Yeah. So there's still flights scheduled to come in. What about this one? Yeah, nope. So you can still see there is some planes destined for Tehran. Not many, but there still are. But that tanker, I bet you that transponder goes off soon. You're going to see that one go bye-bye. It's going to turn off. Especially if it approaches Syria. Another thing I've been keeping on is this base here. The UK base. Which is right here. That is a UK base. They had a Voyager take off earlier. Don't know where it went. That's a refueler. There's been some German military. Here's one heading back. There's been some German military craft in the air. Military or government. There was a few of them in the Persian Gulf earlier. German. And here. I've also seen the MQ-4C drones, the Triton, near Oman. I've seen stuff going on down there. There's a lot going on if you know where to look. But I seen activity down here. Not seeing anything right now, but they were earlier. Not available. Oh, that's a ground. That's ground. But there was a drone there last night. So I am keeping a close eye to see if anything changes. Because believe it or not, this will be a severe weather alert. What the heck? It just came on my screen. Could be anything. Freezing. Roads. Fog. A lot of the snow melted. It's almost all gone. See, this one is heading west. Up. Oh, it's still there. This tanker. It's still there. That's a refueler. Where is it going? I mean, this is considered hostile territory. This isn't so friendly either. So you got a tanker right here in Iraq. Oh, did the other one disappear? That's been what they've been doing. They disappear. So that tanker just disappeared. It's gone. The one that was heading west just disappeared. Transponder off. Let's refresh. That one's still showing. And the other one is gone. No longer on the screen. Now that's been typical. Because I even said it earlier. Usually heads west, then it goes bye-bye. This one, where is that one headed? That's an interesting thing going on right there. And it's going to go bye-bye really soon. If the other one shut it off, this one's going to shut it off soon too. You're going to see that disappear. So again, these are the things you look for. And the air traffic. If that air traffic starts to dissipate and clear up, and you don't see traffic in here, and definitely in Iran, you know something's afoot. You know it. You know it. Tusi's going live in 25 minutes. I got to go watch Tusi. I've been watching Tusi and Goldie. That's all I've been watching. Tusi and Goldie. Tusi and Goldie. But I had to take a break because, you know, they're talking about the same things over and over again, kind of like what I do sometimes. And I'm telling them, look, show Netanyahu's last comment. Keep people informed what people are saying. But instead, they're going off on, you know, and that's their stream, that's their control. God bless. But I couldn't do it anymore because they're not showing what's going on in real time. I'm telling you, the activity in these two Tehran airports was bizarre earlier. There was a lot of weird spoofing going on. A Russian plane that left Moscow, but it was under the Saudi flag, was going like this, back. A plane that left Mashhad did a weird thing. It left here, and it went completely, it was destined for Tehran. It went completely past, went to here, then made a U-turn, and then it disappeared because it probably landed in Tehran. But why would it do that? Then there was another one that left another area and it totally bypassed. It was supposed to land in Tehran and it didn't. It turned and went south. I was like, oh shit, is something going on in Tehran airport? I don't know. I don't know. But it was really weird, the things that were going on earlier at these airports. Now this one's going to disappear in a second. See, when they get stuck like that, it's about to go boing, gone. Usually that's what happens. When they're stuck like that, that means the transponder is turned off and it's soon going to disappear. And it'll say no longer, tracking no longer available. It happens often. So, like I said, there are things to keep an eye on here. And I'm definitely going to go watch Tusi. I'm only going to stay on for a few minutes. What's the score of this game, by the way? It was 13-10 last I seen. But this tanker is still on the move. Now let's see if he's still showing that he's moving. Let's refresh. Could be gone. Could be gone. It's still there. But is it frozen? That's the key. See how these are moving? That's not. That one's about to go bye-bye. See how it's not moving? Turn its transponder off. It's going to disappear off the screen. It takes a few minutes. And then it's bye-bye. For obvious reasons. So, I will be keeping an eye on this. Because like I said, there will be indicators if anything goes down. The airspace is a big indicator. Because before it happened in June between Israel and Iran, this completely cleared out. Now, obviously, it was back and forth from west to east or vice versa. So that airspace was cleared of civilian craft. Well, what do you think is going to happen if Iran is already threatening to attack U.S. bases and Israel? You think these planes, the airlines are going to be notified. Stay out of that airspace. Hostile. They're not going to put people's lives at risk in a potential all-out war zone. So this is going to be the first indicator when these planes from international flights, not local Iranian flights within the country, but a lot of these other planes from different countries, UAE, wherever it is, Turkey, whatever, wherever the origination is, Turkey, Dubai, heading to Moscow. So you'll see a lot of that. They're going to avoid it. A lot of Turkish planes. And Russian. UAE. Wow, Poland. A lot of UAE. A lot of UAE planes and Turkish planes. A ton of them. Look at that. Look at this. They're all Turkish. All of them. All Turkey. But what flag are they flying under? Iran. Now you can only imagine. Is Iran sending people to Turkey? Who knows? Like this plane's been stuck. That one probably is landing. So how long before, how long before I saw the C-17? Earlier. I saw that earlier. It was actually heading toward Qatar. Or Qatar. I saw that one earlier. It was about to land. It may have landed already. Because here's the base. Yep, that's the one. It came from Germany. It landed. That's it right there, the C-17. There you go. So that's the one that landed. So again, this is something. How long? Amo, how much? 6 minutes? I gotta go watch Tusi. What's this? Another one. Oh, that's a Poseidon. That's for, that's a Navy. And it could be used for other things, but predominantly that's Navy. I bet you it went over water. Look at that. Over the Persian Gulf. So that's the Poseidon. Interesting. And where did, look at this. See, it was checking the waters. You got to remember, Iran does have submarines. You may not know that, but they do. And another thing to keep an eye on is here. Because if they may be capable of trying to create a blockade here, sink ships, and choke off the Persian Gulf. There's a lot to watch out here for. A lot. I mean, this is a very volatile area. The Strait of Hormuz, this is a very volatile area. And a lot of the oil travels in here. So who knows? But this is something to watch too. I wonder if there's anything flying out here. I don't see anything in this area. But doesn't mean that they're not there. What is these messages? My gosh, stop. Okay, nothing important. Anyway, I'm going to get off now. I'll keep an eye on this. If anything unusual happens, I will come back. If I notice anything strange, because it's about midnight right now in Tehran, in Iran. Alexa, what time is it in Iran?
It's 12:12 a.m. in Iran right now.
There you go. It's AM hours. All right, I'm going to go watch Tusi. Anyway, yeah, there's quite a bit of activity going on. But I honestly think, will the president decide to take action without the carrier being in position? I don't know. That's why that Tuesday thing kind of makes me think, wouldn't you want the carrier in the area? Somewhere? Whether it's here, near the Red Sea. That's when they were remember when they were doing that and they were hitting Yemen? Remember that? I don't know. And you got to watch out for Diego Island that the British have. I don't know exactly where it is. I would have to look it up on a map. Because you never know if the B-1s are there. So anyway, I'm going to get off and go watch Tusi TV. Right now. It should be going live any second because Amal's telling me he is. Anyway, peace, prayers for the people of Iran. And everyone else here that's watching. And around the world. All right, I'm going to go and go watch Tusi. I may be back later. If there's any updates, I'll come back. All right, everybody. Have a great rest.